We also saw some of these clips from Trump and Hannity yesterday. And let's see if we can fast forward through Hannity. So this clip's 1:34. So Hannity's still talking. Cool. We got Trump right here at about 11 seconds in. That's pretty good.
I sued from long before he had it, and they really did a number on me. And I sued, and they had to pay. They paid $10 million settlement.
You're okay with that?
I left it up to the lawyers and the team running Twitter. So I said, you guys do what you think.
Hannity, what kind of question is that?
Sense.
I think it's fun.
I think it's a very low. I was looking to get much more money than that.
So you gave him a discount when the lawsuit.
He got a Oh, he got a big discount. I don't think he even knows about it.
He's become one of your, if you read and believe the media, he's become one of your best friends. He's working for free for you.
I love the president. I just want to be clear about that.
I don't care about that.
I know. I love the president.
You love the president.
I think President Trump is a good man. And he's...
That's the way he said that. There's something nice about it.
It really is. Because the president's been so unfairly attacked in the media. It's really outrageous. And I've at this point spent a lot of time with the president, and not once have I seen him do something that was mean or cruel or wrong. Not once.
I've known him for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anybody.
Okay, thank you, Sean. All right, so it's interesting that Elon is being so forceful in that, right? Trump is being maligned, and he is coming out and saying that unequivocally. I think that gives a lot of people cover to say the same, or at least to believe the same, acting privately. Maybe they don't come out publicly and support that, but they can certainly operate accordingly. Here was another clip.
Question. You're the richest man in the world. You made a long time. But
that's why.
But he's on your team. That's true. He can't top that.
I wanted to find somebody smarter than him. I searched all over. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
You really tried hard.
I couldn't find anyone smarter, right? So we had it for the country.
But this is the thing.
We settled on this.
Thanks for having me.
So
I'm just trying to be useful.
This is the interesting.
All right, so that was another clip. And they also had a clip of, I think one more, but they also had Scott Bessent out yesterday. He was on with Fox, also talking with Brett Baer. So I got him coming up. Here's one more from that interview.
Number, because send in legal fees, I can cut. I wish I had the time. I would save so, but I could cut these bills in half, much better than half. But you offer people a much lower number because they actually put fat. I'm not even saying it's like a way of business. They put more on because they expect to be negotiated. When you send in a bill to the government, there's nobody to negotiate.
Yes.
You send in a bill for $10,000 and they send you a check back for $10,000. If you would call them and said, we'll give you 5. No, I need more than 5. We'll give you 5. I'm not going to pay any more than 5. Make it 6. No, I'm not going to make it 6. And you'll settle for $5,500. You've just cut the bill almost in half, and it took 2 minutes. But none of that's.
Don't we call that the art of the deal?
But that's caring. No, it's not even the art of the deal. It's caring. He uses the word. It's caring.
Yeah.
It's a certain competence, but I think it's more caring.
I know. If you add either ingredient, either competence or caring, you'll get a better outcome.
And they said,
you actually have to care, right? I think caring is almost, there's multiple meanings to it, which is why that word is so funny. When I first heard it, I'm like, caring. It's actually a very nicely engineered word, because when you hear the word caring, you're like, we care, like we care about you. No, we want you to be okay. We're firing you, but we're going to help you carry your box out the front door. So we do care. That's what I thought. Show some love, show some empathy, that kind of a thing. But it also has a double meaning there, where it's like, somebody needs to care about this crap. Does anybody care that this is happening? Or do you care? Look at this. Billions of dollars for circumcisions in the sub-Sahara. What are we doing? Who cares? Okay, I care. Like, you have to actually come in here and give a crap about this. And we will show you care as we evacuate your cubicle. So it's multiple meanings. Pretty nice. So, and you do have to be competent either way. So both ways are very important. Now, this was also an executive order that the president issued last night. We saw some of this right as we were starting the show. He came out, gave a little bit of a press briefing yesterday, and then signed this new order. Says, ensuring accountability for all agencies. And we can read this in the context of the other litigation that we've been covering here and how it interfaces with those lawsuits. And many of the lawsuits are saying that the White House, Trump, in other words, or Elon, or that power that emanates from them, doesn't reach or cover other agencies, and that they're independent agencies. The Office of the Special Counsel. Today on the show, I think we'll cover another lawsuit where another judge put someone else back in her position for the labor, some payment system, MBSL, something, whatever. So shoved her back in there as well. And saying Trump doesn't have the authority to fire that person, or there's discretion and someone's acting outside of the executive. So they're suing to stop Elon, suing to stop Doge, suing to stop whomever, the Department of Ed, as we saw yesterday. So now Trump is, in other words, solidifying, consolidating all of these powers and just doubling down on this idea that it emanates from his office clearly. They'll probably sue over this. And I think it might be a bait in order to create that lawsuit, because they're already knocking on the Supreme Court's door, explaining to them that the Office of the Special Counsel is under the purview of the executive branch, and Trump can fire Hampton Dellinger if he wants to. So here's what this says. Now, the Constitution clearly vests all executive power in the president and charges him with faithfully executing the laws. Now, since it would be impossible for the president to single-handedly perform all the executive business, the Constitution also provides for subordinate officers. In the exercise of their often considerable authority, these officials remain subject to the president's ongoing supervision and control. Wow, they're explaining how the Constitution works for everybody. The president, in turn, is regularly elected by and accountable to the American people. This is one of the structural safeguards, along with the separation of powers between the executive and legislative branches, regular elections for Congress, and an independent judiciary whose judges are appointed by the president with advice and consent of the Senate, by which the framers created the government that's accountable to the American people. Great explanation. However, previous administrations have allowed so-called, quote, independent regulatory agencies made up out of their butts to operate with minimal presidential supervision. These regulatory agencies currently exercise substantial executive authority without sufficient accountability to the president and through him to the American people. Moreover, these regulatory agencies have been permitted to promulgate significant regulations without review by the president. Now, these practices undermine these agencies' accountabilities to the American people. And for the federal government to truly be accountable, it goes to the president. So therefore, in order to increase accountability, it shall be the policy of the executive branch to ensure presidential supervision and control of the entire executive branch. Okay, liberals are going to sue like nuts over this. You can't say you did that. He's just basically declaring war on all of the other independent agencies. Not that there's many left of them. Shall submit for review all proposed, moreover, all executive departments and agencies, including so-called independent agencies. And I love how that phrase is being used all over the place. Everything is so-called now. The liberals say it a lot. So-called Doge committee agency, so-called. They are so-called independent. They're not independent. Shall submit for review all proposed and final significant regulatory actions to the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs within the executive office of the presidency before you publish anything. So the rest of it is details on how this works, but that's great. So pretty sure we'll see some lawsuits based around this. You can't say this. You can't gobble up power. Congress created the independent agency called whatever. Congress created this. You can't do that. And he's doing it. Okay, we already saw how he was doing this. And he's knocking on the door of the Supreme Court. And there's good precedent for this, as we saw. There's several agencies, including the CFB, which the Supreme Court said in seal of law can be fired by the president. We'll carry that over to the Office of the Special Counsel. We know Joe Biden got rid of the Social Security Administration. There was another board, I forget the name of it, in the Collins case. So this is how it works. This is how the Constitution works. The stupid little game of massage and patty cake between the executive branch and the legislative branch that everybody was just enjoying and allowing to happen is now coming to a close. So we're excited to see where that goes. I'm sure we might even see some reaction to that tonight on the show.